What's up, Eagles Nation? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Pablo Guerra, your #1 Eagles fan, and this is the Think Eagles YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of the Georgia guys: Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Nolan Smith Jr., Kelee Ringo. Not necessarily Jalen Carter, because we all know that he's a stud. As long as he continues to do what he needs to do on the football field and off the football field, I don't think he's a concern in terms of his development. But a lot of these Georgia guys, this offseason, I've heard a lot of conversation about how, they were disappointed in the development of Jordan Davis. Nakobe Dean can't stay healthy. He never makes plays. Kelee Ringo, he doesn't have any interceptions. What is he going to do? The Eagles drafted Quinyon Mitchell. What does that say about him? But with those specific guys, I think it's a little unfair, and here's why. I think about a guy that the Eagles drafted on the D-line. He came out of Louisville, Marcus Smith, several years back, first-round pick. Coming out, it was a lot of buzz. I think his senior year, he registered like 16 sacks that year. Like he really had a productive senior year. Howie took a chance on him. He gets to Philadelphia, does absolutely nothing, doesn't register any sacks, any QB hurries, any pressures, nothing. Eagles tried him out on special teams, couldn't come up with one tackle. It's well documented that he just couldn't get it going in Philadelphia, and so he is what you would consider a legitimate bust. Now, when I think about Jordan Davis, a guy who has registered sacks even his rookie year and tackle for losses, and even being overweight, the hustle plays that he makes, just his mentality on the football field, his aggressiveness, his overall presence, and what that means for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. To me, I personally wouldn't consider Jordan Davis a bust. Nakobe Dean, obviously, the injury bug, had some, foot injuries that sort of started his growth. There was some plays his rookie year where I can remember the Eagles was on the goal line. I think the team was in shotgun. I forget who we were playing, and Nakobe Dean comes up, makes a great football tackle, force fumble, the Eagles recover, go down, and we score, right? And this is his rookie year. He's made some other flashes on the football field as well. Kelee Ringo, I thought his rookie year, he was excellent in coverage. Didn't have, a bunch of interceptions, but I thought he was aggressive. He didn't look like he didn't know what he was doing. And so I say, we say the word bust a lot, and this person's a bust and that person's a bust. I think a great example that we have on this football team is a guy like Brandon Graham, who started his career off a little shaky. He also had an injury. I think it was an Achilles injury that slowed down his process. And, the rest is history, right? Comes up with the huge Super Bowl strip sack on Tom Brady. And now he's on his sort of farewell tour for Philadelphia in his 15th season. So I think he's a great example of what Jordan Davis, what Nakobe Dean, what Nolan Smith Jr. could really turn out to. And I get it as fans, on a collegiate level, and we expect it to be the same, in the NFL. And sometimes it's a little slower for guys. Like, it's a little faster for guys. Like Jalen Carter, out the gate, his first rep was almost a sack in the NFL. So I just think some guys impact our defense, the game overall, differently. I think Jalen Carter is going to be your impact player. I think Jordan Davis is a guy that allows other guys to have success, so he's not going to have a lot of numbers, but he is going to impact and affect the game. I think Nakobe Dean, if he stays healthy this year, we will see his production increase behind Devin White. He'll get some playing time. He'll be an impact player on special teams. He'll start to grow. I think the Eagles need to work him in slowly just because of his injury, not because of his talent. Nolan Smith Jr., I think, is a guy who said it himself that he thinks that this year he's really going to turn the corner. I think Nolan, his rookie year, he had like 1 or 2 sacks, right? So I'm saying it we just, for me personally, when I think of a bust, I think of Marcus Smith, because he literally did absolutely nothing for you on the football field. These guys, those Georgia guys, as a whole, every single last one of those dudes have made plays and impact this defense. Has it been consistent? No, right? But at the same time, they're still young guys. Nakobe Dean is 23. Jordan Davis is what, 24? These guys are still young football players trying to find a way in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I just kind of wanted to get this video out there because, you know, I think there's this nervousness, there's this hesitation around what the development of all of the Georgia football players looks like. But I really think that we're in good hands. We have Vic Fangio now. That's a veteran. I think he coaches hard. And I think that's the kind of coach that Kirby Smart was for the Georgia football team. And I think that's going to help our young guys, because I think they want to be coached hard. They want a no-nonsense type of coach. Was Jonathan Gannon that? I don't know. You know, was our last, I don't even know who our coordinator was last year. Matt Patricia, Jesus, who was? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like these guys have already had multiple coaches, you know, so I think it would behoove the Eagles to really get your return on investment on the Georgia football players to have Vic Fangio here until he's ready to retire, because they need something consistent. You know, and at Georgia they had consistency. In the NFL they just haven't found that yet. So hopefully Vic Fangio could bring that to the Eagles defense. But for me, I don't look at Jordan Davis as a bust, right? I didn't expect Jordan Davis to come out and have a multiple 15 sack seasons, right? The beautiful part about the development with Jordan Davis and really all of our guys is, you know, they had time to develop. And I think that's really the sweet spot that the Eagles was able to offer those young guys coming into Philadelphia. It's like, hey, we got Fletcher Cox. He's going to be here for maybe 2-3 years. You can sit behind him, learn the game. You know, we can use you as we need you and develop that way, as opposed to the microwave development. Like, oh, we just have to have you produce like a TJ Watt your rookie year. That's just not going to happen, right? Jalen Carter didn't even do it his rookie year. He had success his rookie year, but he wasn't a 10+ sack guy, although I thought he could have been. Yeah, so I just feel like with a little bit of patience and understanding and just overall just understanding of how NFL players develop, because you just never know when that guy is going to take off. And the Eagles have had their fair share of guys who I believe they rushed and then they leave and go somewhere, and all of a sudden they're in playoffs making interceptions. I think about Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas was a guy struggled in Philadelphia. As soon as he leaves the Eagles, he goes, right? And now he signs his second contract with the Packers, right? And it's just been that way. And so I think the Eagles should just have a little bit more patience as a franchise. I'm excited to go back to the old ways and the old style of doing things, you know, and just letting guys grow, develop, and being patient and not just giving up on guys. Like I said, Brandon Graham is a great example of a guy you probably wouldn't want to give up on. And, you know, those Georgia guys specifically, one thing I know about them, they feed off of each other. They listen to each other. They love each other. They want to see each other be successful. And I think that's really what matters in the end. I ultimately think that every Georgia Bulldog that the Eagles drafted, you know, they will get to that second contract. They will have success. You know, that's just my opinion. So thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I really appreciate you guys. Until the next one, fly, Eagles fly, and go Dogs. Peace.